If you check out the Identity 5 wiki, especially the upcoming content section, you'll find tons of fan theories and speculations. While they're not confirmed, many of these ideas are based on hints and clues from in-game backstories and lore. One of the biggest theories is that the Acrobat might become a hunter. This idea first popped up after his fourth letter, got stronger when his character Day Furniture came out, and really gained traction after NetEase dropped the closing night trailer. If this theory turns out to be true, and honestly, I think it's pretty likely, it brings up a lot of questions. Why Mike? Why would he become a hunter? What happened to push him to this point? Also, is there a possibility that this theory is just a mass hype? This is your broadcaster, Selmina, and today we're going to dig into all of it. I've covered the whole Hullabaloo story in a previous video, but since we're digging into Mike's theory, today I'll be focusing on him. If you need the full backstory, you can check that video out. To understand why Mike might end up with a hunter form, we need to dig into his past. According to the in-game files, Mike grew up as an orphan before being adopted by Bernard to work in his circus, the Hullabaloo. For Mike, the circus became his home, and he saw its members as his family. But the circus wasn't exactly a happy place. It hid some dark secrets that caused pain for others. For example, Bernard kept his nephew, Murrow, captive, giving him barely enough food while forcing him to perform. Mike even helped Murrow escape, though it's unclear if he did this out of sympathy or for another reason. Despite this, Mike continued to view the circus as his home. Eventually, new members joined the circus. Sergey, a talented performer, and his wife, Natalie. But they brought trouble with them. While Sergey and Natalie seemed like stars on stage, behind the scenes, Sergey was an abusive alcoholic. Natalie sought comfort from another circus member, Joker, who had feelings for her. Joker eventually confronted Sergey about his behavior, leading to a fight. Sergey ended up breaking Joker's prosthetic leg and disfiguring his face by tampering with his makeup. Enraged, Joker retaliated by killing Sergey, mutilating his face, wearing it, and burning down the entire circus. Joker's actions were partly driven by the trauma he experienced within the circus, but if you want the full details on why he burned it down, you can find them in my previous video. The fire resulted in a massacre that killed nearly everyone, including Bernard. It's believed that Natalie was the only one who made it out alive. Mike wasn't at the circus when the fire happened. When he returned and found his home in ruins, he was furious. He suspected Natalie of being behind it all because he couldn't find her or Sergey's names in the mortuary records. At first, he thought both of them might be involved, but after speaking to a detective named Arthur Russell, he learned that Sergey had actually died in the fire. Russell also told him that Natalie had dyed her hair black and taken a new name, Margaretha, which only deepened his suspicions. Soon after, Mike joined the Manor game as part of Group 8, which included other members from his old Hullabaloo days. At this point, he still held a deep grudge against Natalie, now known as Margaretha. But something happened that changed everything for Mike. Joker, the true culprit behind the Hullabaloo incident, brutally attacked Violetta, another former circus member, leaving her for dead in the snow. This incident made Mike start to question his beliefs, especially after he learned the full truth that Margaretha wasn't behind the tragedy, but Joker was. This revelation turned Mike's world upside down, shattering his long-held view that the Hullabaloo was a place of family and home. He realized that the circus, which he had idealized, was actually filled with darkness and cruelty. For so long, Mike had believed that the Hullabaloo was his home and its members were his family. Now, faced with the reality that he had no home left, he felt completely lost. This realization drove him to plan a final act, ending the Hullabaloo for good, including Joker, Margaretha, and himself. In a letter, he described his plan, saying that a blaze would be the perfect way to put an end to the circus's story. With this in mind, he wrote a farewell letter and went to confront Joker. After Joker and Margaretha met their end, Mike set the circus ablaze, choosing to be the one who would bring the Hullabaloo to its final fiery end. Based on Mike's backstory, we can guess when and how he might become a hunter, which is probably during his time in the manor after he learns the truth about the Hullabaloo. This realization seems to be a turning point for him. In the latest Hullabaloo story trailer, we see Mike standing in the circus, calling out to Sergei. It could be his way of taunting Joker and Margaretha, confronting them. At the end of the trailer, there's a glimpse of Sergei's clothes and a shadowy figure, leading fans to speculate that Mike might be dressed as Sergei for this showdown. Plus, in Game 8, only Margaretha seems to react to the drug, hinting that she might be seeing Mike's transformed state. Other game details add to this theory. First, there's Mike's fourth letter, showing his shift in how he sees the Hullabaloo after the truth comes out. Then, there's his character day furniture, where his portrait has shadows that don't quite match him, similar to the character day furniture for Morton and Joker, who both have hunter forms. The closing night trailer has more clues. For context, let's watch it together first.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the pillar of the circus, the superstar, and the most beloved and popular smiling clown, Sergei!
In the trailer, Mike introduces Sergei to the audience, which might mean he's either introducing a new character or taking on Sergei's role, an idea that ties back to his fourth letter. At the end of the trailer, there's a shadowy figure, and many think it might be Mike in his hunter form. Lastly, Mike's character sheet has some speculative details. There's a Chinese inscription, similar to what's found on Morton's sheet and other survivors with hunter forms, like Melly. While this needs more confirmation, it adds another piece to the puzzle for those who think Hunter Mike could be real. Still, with all the hints, NetEase hasn't confirmed any new hunters available soon. Even so, I sincerely believe that Mike will get a hunter form though, and maybe even Violetta survivor form. While we're at it, let's dive into Violetta's potential ID switch too. She's a key character in Game 8, and her death, though unconfirmed, plays a big role in the story. It's what helps Margaretha see Joker's true nature, and makes Mike realize what the Hullabaloo is really like. The theory that Violetta might have been a survivor actually comes from a 2022 letter. It hints at her being gentle, kind, and obedient. Her elimination by Joker has led some to think that she was originally meant to be a survivor. But, because of her obedient and passive nature, she never stood up for herself when others harassed her. Eventually, she was left out in the snow to die, which keeps the survivor theory alive, but we definitely need more hints to confirm it. With the Hullabaloo lore drop just around the corner, could we finally see the Hunter Mike and Survivor Violetta theories come true? I guess we'll find out when the next part of the Hullabaloo story drops. This is your broadcaster, Silmina, signing out. See you next time.